They take all 3 points in this one. Let's hear from both managers after the game.
What does the nature of that performance tell you about the players' desire to win for you?
I think they show that, but we show also that when everything is going well, we arrange something to make it difficult. But again, just the way that we start the game in the first ball, second ball. I remember when we scored the first one, we have many situations, 3 against 1, 3 against 2, goalkeeper outside of the box. In the last pass, we are not being perfect in that moment, and that can help us a lot to control the games and to win games. But we suffer together in the end, and that was a good thing. If you look at the game, we deserve the win.
I realise it's a very quick decision that the goalkeeper's got to make there, but on the sideline, would you have preferred him not to have fouled the player and given a goal away and you're 1 down with 11 men rather than...
Yeah, even probably is the best solution, because we have still 95 minutes to play. I think even Robert is aware of that. But also it's difficult because he has to take a decision in 1 second, 2 seconds, so it's difficult. But for sure, if you ask me, I prefer to be 1-0 down after 3 minutes than 1 player down after 3 minutes.
All right, well, at this moment, we have to welcome in the other member of our team today, Frank Leboeuf, who is dressed in all black because I feel like he is in serious mourning. Those who don't know, we have a little group chat before every show. And let me tell you, Frank, things got spicy in the group chat today, but overall, you're definitely not happy with what you saw from Enzo Maresca and Chelsea today.
Yeah, many things to complain about or to criticize. First, a slow start, then after the Roberto Sanchez decision. And I mean, the question I've been asked by somebody to Enzo Maresca, and definitely somebody who'd never been in that situation where you have to take a decision, and Shaka can witness that it's a quick decision that you make, and we can see that Roberto Sanchez hesitate before, goes back down and decides to go, and it's too late, whatever. It happens what happens. Then I don't know what Enzo Maresca has to put Neto out. He made 2 substitutions in the same time to decide to reinforce the defensive line. That I can understand with 1 player, but you quite of sacrifice the offensive aspect of your game. And it's just normal that you see Manchester United dominating the game and scoring 1 and after 2. And I thought it would have been worse. It could have been worse. And then you have the Casemiro situation where, overall, even if he gets the ball in the second yellow card, he grabs the players, and for me, it's a normal yellow card. And I tell you, the first tackle on Enzo Fernandez could have been also a red card because it's a tackle from behind, but whatever. But after, you are 10 against 10, and Chelsea started the second half like they were leading 2-0. So slow, keeping the ball at the back, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, I'm Enzo Maresca, I say, guys, we are 10 against 10, we are back in the game, you know, lucky we are. So now you're going to jump on their throats and you're not going to let them go. You're going to go because they are not feeling well right now psychologically. So go for it. No, instead, blah, tiki-taka, easy, blah, blah. Yeah, you score 1 goal 10 minutes before the end. Too late. Too late, I'm sorry. Maybe the players were tired with the Champions League game, whatever, and the rain and the heavy field, whatever, or soft field, but that wasn't the way I was expecting to see Chelsea playing from start and then reacting the second half.
Yeah, of course, that moment when Robert Sanchez went out, got the straight sending off there, Shaka. That was the moment that really changed the game, and it turned into what was a chaotic first half for Chelsea.
Without question, to define the game, the Sanchez red card. And listen, I sympathise. That earlier in the game, you're still trying to get a feel for the pace of it, the conditions, kind of given the weather. You're still feeling your way into the game, and all of a sudden this ball comes over the top. And Buemo splits your 2 centre-backs, and you have a decision to make. Maybe you expected it to shoot a little bit more than it did. On a drier pitch, it checks a little bit more, so therefore you don't have to make that decision. So again, because you don't really understand or you haven't really figured out the run of the pitch, you make this decision, or you're forced into the decision and you get it wrong. But no question, that was a red card. In my opinion, the referee simply had no choice. From there on in, I think we are absolutely right to question Maresca's changes that he made to deal with this situation. He takes out Estevao to bring on Jurgensen, which you understand. Somebody's got to be sacrificed. You then take out Neto to bring in another defender in Tosin. But then you take out Palmer 15 minutes, or roughly 15 minutes later, because he had to face a fitness test before the game and you weren't quite sure as to whether he was 100%. Well, then take out Palmer after 5 minutes. If you want to show up, if that's your plan, right? It's not my place to dictate Maresca's plan. But if your plan is to bring in another defender just to show up the defense because you're now undermanned, take out Palmer in that position. And the thing is, for me, it kind of came back to bite Chelsea a little bit, because in the second half, once it comes down 10 players each, Chelsea had a whole lot more of the game, but they certainly lacked creativity on the part, because all your creative midfielders were substituted in that first 20 minutes. So I'm not really quite sure about the thinking there. Casemiro scored a goal, but then tried to make a little bit of a game of it in picking up his second yellow card. I have no issue with that either. And in the end, I'll be honest, when Chalobah does score, I'm thinking this is not going to end. This is not going to end 2-1. So something had to give. I was certain that something had to give. Credit to Manchester United, they defended well throughout. Again, for half the game, it was 11 men v 10, and certainly to close it out, I thought they equipped themselves pretty well.
Well, of course, the Cole Palmer substitution was one that had all of us wondering what's going on. Frank, I know, is itching to get into it, but before we let him get into it, we actually can hear from Enzo Maresca on it.
Cole, he tried this morning. He had a test this morning to play this game. He was not 100% fit. He made fantastic effort to play this game, but he was not 100%. Yeah, it's a problem that it's already a long time for him. He's growing. Again, he did this morning a test. He wants to play this game for the team, to be close. So the effort has been huge from him. But then after 20 minutes, he started to feel something. So we decided to change him.
Enzo Maresca there explaining that substitution. Frank, let me get to you on this one, because I just have to pull up our group chat again. And when we copy and pasted what Enzo Maresca said, you said, stupid comments, if you're not at 100%, you don't play. Is that what you feel?
Well, especially, yes, it's what I feel. And especially when you have like 200 players at your disposal at Chelsea, you know. I mean, okay, Cole Palmer is a fantastic player, and you need a Cole Palmer to create something, and Shaka alluded it before. But you need a Cole Palmer at 100%. If you have a Cole Palmer at 60 or 70%, it's going to be useless, because he cannot develop his skills. And that's what it is. And when I hear the coach, yeah, you know what, he made a huge effort because he wanted to play. But I'm the coach. I said, I'm sorry, my man, you stay on the bench. I mean, I've been throughout many problems on my groin, the groin problem that I had throughout my career. And you cannot play. I mean, it's a nightmare. It can last for 6 months. So you need a rest. You may need to make sure that you heal, you properly heal, and you come back only when you're 100%. And even if you're Cole Palmer, even if you're Maradona and Zidane, you come back when you're 100%. Otherwise, you're not going to be as good as we are expecting. And again, and Shaka, thank you, you said it because I forgot. I mean, when you know that you have somebody who's not at 100% and you have to change a creative player, you don't change Neto. You change Palmer because you're gonna save Palmer, and you give a chance to somebody who is at 100% to perform. That's insane. And don't know why nobody asked him at the press conference, why did you change Neto and you didn't change Palmer, knowing it is not at 100%? That's, yeah, I'm sorry, a stupid comment.
Stevie, you've been a manager. What do you make of the changes that Enzo Maresca, of course, was forced into making, and of course the Cole Palmer?
Yeah, I have to agree with the two boys. It's a mind-blowing decision when you've got a guy who you weren't 100% sure of, and then you go down to 10 men. I mean, it should be the first thing that comes in your head. And then the other thing that should come in your head as well, I can't take all my attacking players off But so who do I take off and who do I keep on? I'll keep on the guy who's going to run all day, who's going to run up and down the field, who's going to chase, who's going to harry, and I'll take off the kid who's inexperienced and who defensively is not that great. But he takes every one of them off. I mean, there's nothing about it makes any sense. But I think the most important thing here for Chelsea would be what Frank was talking about earlier. You're 2-0 down. There has to be some sort of urgency in your play. I understand if you start the second half off by getting things settled and getting on the front foot, which they did. They kind of took control of it because Man United, as you do, you're 2-0 up. You don't need to go and win the game anymore. You just need to make sure you don't make any mistakes. And then, as the time goes on, you start ramping it up. Then you start having to be desperate. And then you start having to put balls in the box. You've got to kind of forget about all this tactical coaching nonsense about keeping the ball and if go wide and come back out. And then we'll start again. Let's go back to the goal and we'll start again. When you're 2-0 down, eventually you've got to forget that. And you play as a kid, a bunch of kids who are just desperate and want a desire to go forward. And it took till 10 minutes before the end, before that appeared. Way too late. And again, not only on the subs is that on Maresca, but the fact that they hung about and just kept possession until that 80th minute is on the manager. He should have been on the sideline, pointing fingers, screaming, shouting, telling him to get forward. You know, open your lungs up, open your heart up and go and try and get something. Didn't happen.
Well, can I just say that we're 15 minutes into the show and we've been speaking about Chelsea and they lost this game. Let's talk about Manchester United, shall we? Stevie, I'm going to start with you.
Can I say something? Can I say something before you get carried away with your almighty Manchester United team?
All right, Frank, what is it?
Who, by the way, shouldn't get carried away because that wasn't perfect, but whatever. You know, we talked about Liverpool, and we're going to talk about Liverpool-Everton and maybe the face of Stevie when Everton came back with gay goal. And we were chatting, and we say, you know, we would love to have a video of the face of Stevie when Everton scored the goal. You should have seen me in the second half screaming on television. They say, guys, you are losing! You are losing! Do you get that? I was on the coach jumping. I don't understand that. I was so crazy. I got crazy because of that. Okay, now go to your almighty team. I won't say a word.
I didn't say almighty.
You've been waiting all season for this, Alexis.
All I have to say, the last time Chelsea got a win at Old Trafford, Sir Alex Ferguson was still managing Manchester United. A lot has changed since then at United.
Just a little
but
bit.
for the last couple of weeks, we've been hearing Ruben Amorim bang on about improvements he sees in this team. Did you see any of those improvements today, Stevie?
No.
So what did it for United?
It's a hard game.
Hold on a sec. Let me hold
It's a
on.
hard game to judge.
What could it possibly be?
It's a hard
It
game.
is a hard game to
I know.
judge.
They were a man up.
Not for that long.
For
What do you
45
mean they got
minutes.
sent off after 5 minutes?
For 45 minutes.
And they were 2-0 down when it was 10v10.
You can only play what's against you. That's not
Play against 10 men every week, why don't
They
you?
were
But
given a
United
man of a
went down
start.
to 10 men
They
as
were given
well.
2 goals of a start.
When did
And they
United
drew the
go
second
down?
half 0-0.
But what happened to the whole of the second half?
You lost the second half 1-0.
Well, still.
Sorry, did I? They lost
So
the
what-
second
so-
half 1-0.
But you don't just lose the second half. You have to win over
No,
2
but
halves.
you're making that point. You're making the point. What happened in the second half when it was 10v10? I just told you what happened in the second half when it was 10v10.
But they didn't lose the game.
Right, we know.
And at the end of the day, a game of football is 2 halves, is it not?
I'll tell you what we did. I'll tell you what we
Come
did
on,
find
girl,
out.
don't give up.
Thank you, Frank. So no positives for United after this win.
No,
Tell you what, if
no.
they play the rest of the season with a man more than the opposition, they might get in the top 4.
Wow. Wow, there's a lot of hate being thrown around here.
How's that for positivity?
Let me say.
Oh, okay.
So let me just. So,
Salty.
as I was saying earlier during the highlight, that's the word positives. But you have to take everything in context. That it was Manchester United at home against 10 men. And while United defended well, while they were man up, while certainly to close out the game, and as I mentioned, once Chalobah got that goal, I didn't think United could hold out, but they did. They got bodies behind the ball well. They managed that side of the game very well. You saw the runs of deep from Bruno Fernandes, certainly for his goal. You saw Casemiro and his contributions. before getting sent off. Not often we've been able to look at Manchester United, particularly in midfield, and heap an awful lot of praise on them. But again, while you're doing that, it's against 10 men. And you always, and that's the caveat here to your first question, what do we learn about Manchester United? What was good about them? And my simple answer to that is not an awful lot, because it was against 10 men.
Oh, I sense you were ready to say something. Frank, do you agree that we didn't really learn that much from Manchester United despite the win today?
I have to go with the guys, even if I think, I watch our players as well, and I think De Ligt, for example, Amad Diallo and Böhme on top of Bruno Fernandes, they were very good. They were very good. But it's hard to make a statement because of the red card of Robert Sanchez at the beginning of the game. And now you start judging them. You say, okay, 10 against 10, 2-0, let's see how they cope with the situation. We didn't see Manchester United anymore. I'm sorry. Yes, Chelsea didn't create a lot because they don't want to urge their game, but we didn't see Manchester United anymore. And that's a fact. And they won the game, good for them, but because of what happened in the first half. But if you only judge the second half when they play for at least 40 minutes, 10 against 10, I just say, don't get carried away.
Me carried away? Never. Not I. Not I. All right.